Championship Sunday in the National Football League features World of Matchup. Coming to you guys live and direct from Las Vegas, Nevada. I am Dexter Reed, your co-host, producer extraordinaire on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise from Spencer the Wiz. What's going on, my guy?
The end of football is what's going on, man. It's depressing.
It's so
It's exciting,
depressing.
but we're like, it's coming to an end here.
Oh man, I am so bummed about this because, I don't know, NBA sucks. Baseball's not what it once was either. It's like football dominates our lives for most of the year, but that's okay. We'll start getting ready for the draft and all that.
Yeah.
There'll be enough content to keep it moving here at World of Matchups. So Championship Sunday. Before we even get into Championship Sunday, man, let's talk about what happened last week, because I thought it was a really interesting week. Let's start with the 49ers and Packers, man. I'm here to tell you, the Packers are not far away. They're not far away. If they can get things taken care of on the defensive side of the ball, they're in good shape because they're young, they're hungry, and I told you guys, Jordan Love is as good as advertised. It just took a little while, you know what I mean, to get him up to speed. But there were some points in the game where I was watching him, and you could tell he studied Aaron Rodgers to death. He looked like Aaron Rodgers at parts of that game. Now, the Brett Favre throw at the end of the game wasn't really great, but that's a learning curve for him, and he'll not make that mistake again. I think the Packers are someone to watch out for, man. I mean, I gave them 6 wins this year, and they really overachieved. Conversely, I thought the 49ers were lucky to escape. I already told you what I thought was going to happen in Buffalo, and that's what did happen. I mean, it was a really good divisional matchup all the way around, man. Nothing really surprised me except the fact that the Niners look right for the picking. What do you think about last week?
It was great. Yeah, and I really don't think it was really that the 49ers weren't a good football team. I really think that the Green Bay Packers were just like red hot, man. And I actually have to give a little bit of credit, I think, to the 49ers for enduring that. They could have easily have lost that game.
Easily.
So I think they're going to be really ready to play this week against the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bills-Chiefs game, I mean, the ending of that game is pretty sick if you're a Bills fan. It's one of the worst missed field goals I've ever seen in my entire life. It could be the worst. Other than, like, the one time a quarterback tried to hold a field goal and he dropped it and he, like,
snapped Lynn Elliott is pretty bad. I mean, it's before your time, but that's...
Yeah.
Scott Norwood, Lynn Elliott. Yeah. There's been a couple that have been.
That was one of the worst ones for sure.
The guy has to leave town permanently.
Because he got death threats. You know how that stuff goes, man. I already heard about all that, which is just so sick, man. So
deactivate all his social media. It's brutal, man, dude. The world's a brutal place, man. And
sports betting, dude. I think I really think
people losing money. People diehard fans of their team forever and feel like this is it, and it goes awry because of a missed kick. Hey, man.
Josh Allen said it right, dude. He woke up the next morning. You know what I mean? That's how I really...
What else is he going to say, bro? What is he going to say? I mean, I told you guys what was going to happen. I told you. And that's what happened. And I told you, like, it's so funny to me how, like, all of a sudden everyone wants to make excuses for the Bills. But this time last week, they were going to destroy the Chiefs. Guys, keep the same energy. Let's face facts. Josh Allen's not a winner. He is a good quarterback. He is a very good fantasy quarterback. He is a great social media quarterback. But when push comes to shove, Josh Allen is not Josh Allen that you think he is. And sure, his teammates may have let him down, but there was one throw that he made that if he hits that throw, they win that game, and he didn't. And that's the difference between winning and losing. Yes, Diggs dropped a big pass, but you got to give Shakir a better ball in the end zone. I mean, he threw it into the ground. Maybe he didn't step into it. I guess that there was pressure on him. I understand all these things, but the great ones get it done on the big stage, and he doesn't. And there's nothing else to say about it. I like Josh Allen. I do. But I told you guys this was going to happen, and I really hope you listened, because if you didn't, you've been sick all week, because the Bills are the Bills. The Bills never pay the bills. You can be mad all you want. They don't. And it's your own fault for gambling on them. That's kind of my how I feel about what took place last week. Riding into this week, boy, Championship Sunday is going to be great. Let's start with the Niners here, Spence. I do believe what you're saying. I do believe that, you have to give Purdy and McCaffrey and Shanahan and company a lot of credit for weathering the storm, for enduring what they endured and coming away with the W. Even though, it was like down to the wire, nail biting, pull and pray football. Oh my God, are they going to get it done? It's a wake up call for San Francisco. It's a wake up call for San Francisco. And here's the deal, man. They're not the same team without Deebo Samuel. They can be had. Deebo is so important. Deebo is like 3 points. He's like 3 points. Now he's hurt, but he doesn't have an injury designation. He's going to play. One bad lick on that shoulder, though, Spencer, and he could be on IR. He could be done. But he wants to play. A lot of treatment. Needles possibly. Whatever. In come the Detroit Lions, who escaped Tampa. They played well enough to win, and they covered, just like we said they would. Can they get it done here? Okay. They are +7 on the road.
Wow.
A little banged up. They're a little banged up. The over-under is 51.5. I'm going to tell you, going in the door here, I have to take the Detroit Lions plus the 7 points here. I just don't see a world where they get blown out. Now, the strengths of the San Francisco 49ers are definitely the weaknesses of the Detroit Lions. I'm taking them here plus the 7 simply because they can score. They can score. A couple things worry me about this game. Number one, when you pressure Jared Goff, he folds like a house of cards. Okay? He folds. And the last time I checked, Chase Young and Nick Bosa play on that D-line. And they escaped last week. I could also see a game where they absolutely eviscerate the Lions. The Lions have gone on the road versus good teams and gotten destroyed. Baltimore destroyed the Lions. Destroyed. They won by like 34 points. I could see that here. But I can also see a very galvanized Detroit Lions team with the whole city of Detroit behind them, Eminem behind them. You know what I mean? Like with an Amon-Ra St. Brown led air attack, stay in this game enough to the tune of 7. Do I think they're going to win the game? No, I don't. If you're just wanting to cash here, guys, it's San Francisco money line. You're not going to win a whole lot of money. But it's just San Francisco money line. Detroit is not winning this game, okay? But they, I think, can cover. I think they have enough with Jahmyr Gibbs. I think they have enough with D. Montgomery. Mandatory Montgomery is she's a chain mover. Sam Laporta does not carry an injury designation. This is going to be the type of game where, in order to at least stay in the game or have a chance to win the game, that you're going to have to stretch the field on San Francisco because their secondary can be had. If there is their only weakness in San Francisco is their secondary. It can be had. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Jamison Williams go deep. They're going to take some deep shots. J-Mo has to get involved in this game for them to win this game. Period. End of statement. Otherwise, they're not going to have a shot because their run defense is average at best. They're not going to have any answers for CMC. CMC had a bad game last week, and it was still 2 touchdowns and like 97 yards. It's ridiculous. I think they go crazy with CMC this week. He eats like it's Thanksgiving, but I do see it being a high-scoring affair where Dan Campbell's going to take some chances he's going to have to take. And if those chances hit, Detroit's covering this 7, folks. Guys, this is Championship Sunday. Guys don't get blown out. They know it's win or go home. The playbook is open. They're going to try to throw stuff at San Francisco that they haven't seen all year long. And you have a coach with the biggest set of balls in the whole league. Dan Campbell takes more chances than any other coach in the entire National Football League. I think 7 is almost disrespectful, honestly, with the motivation that this team has to end the streaks and bring relevance back to Detroit. With what they've done all year and how they've slowly, year after year, 7 wins, and all of a sudden 9 wins, playoffs, all of a sudden now they're in the NFC Championship game. They've done it the right way. They really have done it the right way. And so I am taking the Detroit Lions +7. I say this game goes over. I think it shoots up. The OU is 51.5. I think all the stars shine here. CMC, J-Mo, Mandatory Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, even Debo. I think they all eat. I think this is a fantasy freaking wet dream. I think the studs go bananas. The OU smashes. But I think Detroit will have an opportunity to win this game at some point, and it will slip through their fingers because the Niner defense up front will just be too much for Jared Goff, but they cover the 7. That's going to be how I've been feeling. I've been going back and forth with it all week. I just can't see a Detroit team with that coach that can score losing more than 7 points. Road games don't matter to the Detroit Lions. They only been murdered once, and it was by Baltimore, who got murdered, who murdered San Francisco in that building. And let's be honest, Green Bay was like 1 or 2 plays away from winning this game.
Yeah, I had a great player prop ticket last week. I had Christian McCaffrey 2+ touchdowns and 1 touchdown from Travis Kelce. So that was a big success for me, and I kind of want to roll over on it this week. I love 2 touchdowns anytime from Christian McCaffrey, rushing or receiving. I love over half a interception from Jared Goff in this one. And I love over Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's my 3-team player prop for this game.
Dude, that's a really nice, guys. I hope you heard that. That's a really nice player prop. Let's roll that back again. We'll do a game teaser, but let's run this back again for you guys. I mean, Amon-Ra, whatever his overs are, guys, take him. If Detroit has any shot at winning this game, they're going to have to feature him. They're going to be trailing, so he's going to eat. He's a yak monster. Take all his overs. Christian McCaffrey is as good as the sun coming up every day. So what is that? 2+ touchdowns to anytime?
Yeah, anytime 2+ touchdowns. I love it to Jared Goff to throw at least 1 interception in this game.
It's a given.
I could just see a big pressure, and he just kind of throws the ball up, and somebody, picks it off. I just could really see that happening at some point in this game. And I think Amon-Ra St. Brown just, eats, especially if they're behind. I think they're just going to just spam.
They're going to have to throw the ball to win. And when you pressure Goff, the Lions, when they lose, Goff turns the ball over, and I can see it happening, man. They are going to be bringing pressure. Most teams can only bring pressure from one side, Spencer. You know what I mean? Like the Lions. Let's talk about the Lions. Aiden Hutchinson. They're only bringing pressure from one side. They passed on Jalen Carter, so they don't have that pressure really coming from the other side. The Niners have it coming from Chase Young and Nick Bosa at the same time at home. Jared Goff is good for a pick. I'd bet my freaking nut on it, dude. So I really like that a lot.
Yeah, this is a really interesting game, and obviously that's what the nature of these championship games are. But this is kind of a hard one to read, I guess, because we've never really seen the Lions be here at all. So they are a bit of a wild card. I still stand on the idea that Dan Campbell is going to lose them a game in the playoffs through some decision, maybe like a fake punt that goes awry. And I just think I have felt that this entire year. He's made so many bad decisions. Like this game should be like in Detroit right now. It really should be, because of some dumb decisions this guy made going for it on, regardless of the fact of the offensive lineman debacle, he still should have taken that field goal and gone into overtime.
Agreed,
100,000%.
Agreed. You gave that game away.
This game is in Detroit. I have a completely different opinion on this, just because of how the whole city would explode if this kind of game was in Detroit.
The Pimps would show up, Eminem would show up. I mean, it would be kind of like what we're going to talk about Baltimore is doing. It would be it'd be a different game. I would take Detroit.
Yeah, and now you have a team in the 49ers, and they also have a diehard fan base. So just home field advantage is just so important in the NFL. So I'm going to lean towards the -7 for the 49ers. I doubt the Lions are just going to lay down. I would be really shocked if it was like just an absolute blowout. But I could see this being a 10-point game late. I could really see it like that.
Yeah, I'm going to take the +7 simply because it's the playoffs and guys are going to empty the clip. There's nothing left to play for. So what are you going to hold back? You know what I mean? Like they have had to have practiced hard this week on stuff that they normally wouldn't feature, because in order to beat a team like this in their building, you're going to have to bring them something they haven't seen. And I think Dan Campbell, conversely, while he does make bonehead decisions and is really leading with, I'm going to do things other coaches won't do, sometimes when you do things other coaches won't do, it hits. And if one of those hit, that could keep a drive alive. That could keep him in the game. You know what I mean? I don't disagree that he could make a play like what Sean McDermott did with the Chiefs, giving DeMar Hamlin. That was absolutely that's a fireable offense. Any chance of them winning that game pretty much erased at that point. I mean, the Chiefs let them hang around. Let's be honest. If the Chiefs don't make these costly fumbles, they win that game going away. All right. So Buffalo killed that chance. Do I see Dan Campbell doing some of that? It remains to be seen. What I know is that the best center in the league, Ragnow, is out there, banged up, but he's going to be out there. Their running game is very, very good. This is where you make your case for this is why we took Jahmyr Gibbs to pair with David Montgomery. Because if you can sustain drives and keep Purdy and company on the sidelines, you can win this game. Do I think they will? No, but I do think they're going to cover, man. I've taken the Niners here to cover at home a lot recently, and they haven't done it. The Niners haven't covered at home in 6 games. They just haven't. You know what I mean? And they're going to stack the box on McCaffrey. They're going to dare Purdy to be a hero. And, CJ, Gardner Johnson is back. And I like the moxie he brings to that secondary. The secondary is not great, but I think they just have to make a couple plays. I think the key player here for San Francisco is George Kittle. If George Kittle gets any love, they're going to destroy this Detroit team. Because I don't even one can guard him. They don't have no one that can guard him. And Kittle is a monster. He's a monster. They know they have to slow McCaffrey down. And if they can't do that, or if they do that, they're going to have to really stop Kittle and Ayuk. I mean, Debo might even be just used as a decoy. I've seen games like this where I remember I watched this one game where Megatron was on the field and everyone was just keying on. He's just a decoy. A lot of times stars get used as decoys. And so that could be the case. But the Niners just don't impress me, man. They haven't impressed me in the playoffs. Not yet. Not once. Not once. I can't take them. +7 is disrespectful. I like the Lions. Let's roll. On to the AFC Championship game. I'm going to let you start. Because I have a funny feeling I'm going to go on and on and on and on and on about this. And I want to make sure my voice gets heard, especially after I said it with my chest last week about my Kansas City Chiefs. Ravens -4 at home for the AFC Championship. Let it rip, Spence.
Wow. This is pretty nuts. I kind of feel like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop for the Ravens, and it just doesn't happen. So it's going to be really hard to not take the Ravens in this game. It feels like they're ready. It feels like Lamar's ready, but I don't know. Playing a team like the Texans doesn't move the needle for me necessarily. I mean, when you're talking about Super Bowl caliber teams and playoff teams, as crazy as it sounds, there's a big difference between the two things. I mean, what the Texans did was amazing to get into the playoffs and then even to win a game. But the Browns, they're not the Ravens. The Ravens are all ready for this. I mean, they look like the team that's going to win the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson kind of looks unguardable. And if he starts moving his legs against the Chiefs, I could really see some crazy stuff happening in this game. Kind of like the over. That's what I'm leaning in this one. I think there's going to be a ton of points in this game. I could see it being kind of a big-time shootout, like even way more than that Bills game that just happened. It's going to be fine. I don't know what the weather situation's like, but I don't think it's going to be like
90% chance of rain.
Wow. I think that leans
at Baltimore all week long. 90% chance of rain on Sunday.
Wow. Keaton Mitchell, if they had him, man, that'd be so huge in this game. That's going to kill them. That injury late, dude, that was a bummer for this team. But you also have Lamar Jackson, and he can just take off for 20 yards like out of nowhere. It's just nuts, man. This guy is so crazy. I always say this, but he reminds me of Justin Jefferson, but like as a quarterback. I mean, the guy is just long. He glides, and he's made some great passes. I have been the number one detractor of Lamar Jackson for a while now. I still think his mechanics are whack, and I think it kills him sometimes, where he just doesn't set his feet, or he's trying to do like a jump pass. He's not getting set. He has a kind of a weird trajectory sometimes on the ball, but I say all that, and I look up at the scoreboard, and these guys have like 30 points, like in the third quarter. So I don't even know what I'm really trying to say here. Zay Flowers was such a huge pickup for them this season. I mean, he just adds an element that they just haven't had for Lamar's
Aguilar
entire
too,
career.
man. Aguilar, Odell, all those guys are good.
They add a little bit of something different too. I think each of those guys, and I think that's been really good for them. I think they're definitely losing their offensive coordinator. And I was going to say the same thing about Ben Johnson for the Lions. I think both of these OCs are gone.
Gone, dude.
There's just too many openings, and I don't see Bill Belichick getting a job. But that's a story for
Bill
another time.
Belichick is waiting to see if Andy Reid retires. That's what Bill Belichick is doing.
Man, I don't know.
If
this
Andy
is
Reid
tough.
retires, Bill Belichick will be a Kansas City Chief. He'll be a head coach. He's waiting for. It's happening, folks. If Andy Reid wins the Super Bowl, don't be shocked for him to ride off into the sunset. And then Bill Belichick will be like, Clark, how are you, Mr. Hunt? Let's have coffee. And he will be the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I could see that big time.
Why would you want to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons? That's smoke and mirrors. Bill is just gauging interest in the league. That's not a winning franchise.
No, I would have been shocked. I thought
this is Bill Belichick, dude. Stop.
Yeah. He's going to go somewhere where he feels like he can just make
a
run.
Win.
You know,
he's going to pull a Brady. Brady knew he can go to Tampa.
Yeah,
he's surrounded by good defense and good weapons. That's Bill too. Folks, stop it. Back to the Ravens.
Yeah, man. I always just have this mentality that you got to take it away from the Chiefs, you know. And it's like you can say all these things, and I don't know. You still have to beat the Chiefs at the end of the day. Like I genuinely do feel like the Ravens are a better team than the Chiefs, but I feel like last year's Chiefs team wasn't even that great anyways, and they still won a Super Bowl. So he's going to have to outplay Patrick Mahomes, and I don't know if he can do that. I think that's the really tough part about this game. I think it just comes down to Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. Do I think Lamar can play better than Patrick? I do, actually. I don't think this has been the best Patrick Mahomes year ever. And I think this has been Lamar Jackson's best year. So, I mean, on paper, he can, but then there's also the idea of having to do it. You know what I mean? So that's what it comes down to in this game. I am leaning towards the Ravens, man. I just feel like they have such a great team. Mark Andrews is coming back in some capacity. And I think if you can get Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews involved, that's just tough, man. I mean, they're going to be eating up yards, too. These guys don't run super long routes. You just get first down after first down. You keep the Chiefs off the field. I think the Ravens can force at least one turnover in this game. And I think that could be the difference. But I could also see, Patrick Mahomes just like way out playing Lamar Jackson. They just end up scoring more points, like a 24-21 type of game. So all of these games are tough to call. I mean, just the nature of NFC Championship games. But I'm leaning Ravens. I am in this game.
I like that we're disagreeing. It makes for a better show. On paper, the Ravens are the best team. And in real life, too. I mean, I looked at what they did this season. I mean, they've destroyed everyone. I mean, they took apart a very good Lions team that's in the NFC Championship. They destroyed both teams in the NFC Championship. And one of them in their own building. And quite frankly, they did it when they weren't even at 100%. This has been by far Lamar Jackson's best year. They've finally given him the weapons, the ancillary pieces he's needed. Even without Keaton Mitchell, Justice Hill doesn't get his flowers. Mark Andrews is back. Isaiah Likely has been fantastic. And then you sprinkle in Odell, Aguilar. These guys have played very, very well. Their front four is very stout. Their linebackers are all world. I'm a little concerned about their secondary. I do think it can be had. But it is their Super Bowl to lose. All right? If the Ravens stand on business, they will win the Super Bowl going away. Okay? So I just want to put all that out there. Harbaugh is a very good coach. They have the best kicker in the history of the National Football League. They are home. Okay? They have Ray Lewis and Ed Reed doing the pregame speech. They got T-Pain doing the halftime show. Okay? I mean, the Ravens are doing everything they can to make sure they go to the Super Bowl. As they should. As they should. Okay? I got into it with this guy at my job the other day, and he said I was absolutely crazy that the Kansas City Chiefs had any shot at winning this game.
Oh, that's insane. That's crazy.
And you know what, man? I'm always, when I get into it with people, you are entitled to your opinion. He just won a bunch of money, so he's feeling good, had a couple drinks in him. And look, what the things he was saying was not wrong. I mean, it is the Ravens' Super Bowl to lose. It
Yeah, they're the
is.
best team left in the playoffs
They
by
are the
far.
best team left in the playoffs. They are the most complete team in the NFL. They have been all season long. I have not been the biggest supporter of Lamar Jackson at all his entire career, and I have had to eat my words on several occasions. He is having a phenomenal season. He is the MVP. I have no problem giving anyone their flowers, and if I'm wrong, I will always say that I'm wrong. I'm not that kind of sports guy that will run from it. I've eaten crow plenty of times. However, all these things being said, okay, where are the huge playoff performances? Okay, you beat CJ Stroud and a rookie coach in D'Amico Ryans. Fine. In your building. That's what you're supposed to do if you're this great team. So, okay, you did that. We're happy for you. Other than that, where are the huge playoff wins? Where is Lamar in the playoffs? Now, the argument a lot of people will say is he hasn't had the help that he has this year. Fine, I'll give you that. I'm willing to give you that. But let's not forget that this is the same guy that lost at home to Ryan Tannehill. This is the same guy that went to Buffalo and got his shit pushed in. The odds makers all week long, they want you to bet the Ravens, but they are so scared that they couldn't leave it at 3. They had to throw that hook on there. If you watch how these spreads come out, Spencer, they had to throw that hook on there because they know in the back of their minds, here comes Magic Mahomes. Now it's 4 because Joe Thuney's not going to play. Now it's 4. Guys, we sat here last week and the whole world was taking the Buffalo Bills. The whole world. And what did I tell you guys? We should go back through the season and just have takes that I've made that I've said with my chest. See, I make takes, but then if I say it with my chest, if you hear me say I'm saying it with my chest, I want to know how many wins I've had. I called that right down the middle. The Kansas City Chiefs that you are seeing right now, folks, is not the same Kansas City Chiefs that you've seen this season. Kelsey found the fountain of youth. Patrick Mahomes had a very workmanlike performance. Isaiah Pacheco was churning out yards. And if they get anything out of scrubs like MVS, dude, they had 8 plays of over 20 yards. I know the Bills were banged up, but that didn't stop you from talking shit all week about how the Chiefs were going to get murdered, and they won the game going away. And they should have blown the Bills out. Let's be honest. Lamar Jackson is the same type of quarterback as Josh Allen, who just played. So now we're just carrying it over from one game to the next. Guys, how many times do we have to see this? What is it going to take for you guys to stop betting against Patrick Mahomes? I don't understand what it's going to take. How much money do you have to lose before you will finally say, I cannot bet against Mahomes? The smart bet here, honestly, is to just not bet. Is to just not bet. I would rather go down betting on Patrick Mahomes losing all my money than betting on the Ravens and then watching the Chiefs pull it out again. I would not be able to sleep at night. And it's not because I'm a Chiefs fan. It's because I am witnessing greatness in Patrick Mahomes. Guys, I know Brady is the GOAT, but Brady is the GOAT because he has 7 rings. Brady is not a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes will be the most functional quarterback in the history of the National Football League by the time he retires, and he is a first ballot Hall of Famer now. Do we have to keep going through this, guys? Down 24 at home versus Houston. Wins the game by 2-3 touchdowns. Everyone was like, there is no way a year ago, there is no way the Chiefs are going to win that game. He's on one leg at home. The Bengals are going to destroy the Chiefs. Chiefs find a way to win that game. The Niners are going to destroy the Chiefs. Down 10 with 6 minutes left in the game. Chiefs win the game. Last year, the Eagles front 4, the Eagles secondary won the game. Dude, wow. There is a legion of people that understand betting against Patrick Mahomes is like asking yourself to get cancer. And I see it happening again. I see it happening again. And guys, I'm going to say it with my chest again. Again. And if they get blown out, so be it. If they get blown out, so be it. But ask yourself this question. Take some time and look this up today, guys. I said it again. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. When was the last time the Chiefs got blown out? When was the last time the Chiefs lost by 14 points? To anybody. Anyone good in the playoffs. You can't tell me because it doesn't happen. That's why. Now, they got injuries. No Joe Thuney. Willie Gay's questionable. Isaiah Pacheco's got the toe. I mean, everything is against the Chiefs, man. They are hurting so bad. There is no way in hell they should cover 4 points, more or less win the game. But I'm here to tell you that's what the odds makers want you to think. This is a manhole in the middle of the street waiting for you to fall in it, folks. And if the Baltimore Ravens come out and eviscerate the Chiefs, there's nothing to be said about it. I think they will win the Super Bowl with ease. I think this is easily the hardest game they're going to have to play this year. Why? Because they have to beat Patrick Mahomes. In order to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC, you must go through Patrick Mahomes. Somewhere, sometime, in some building, that is going to be factual information for the next 10 years. You must go through Patrick Mahomes. And playoff Pat is different. I think he's proven to Spencer. You asked me if he was different last year. You thumbnailed it, and I've proven it to you guys over and over and over. Playoff Pat is different. Patrick Mahomes is one of 2 players left in the National Football League right now that can win a game by himself. And the other one is Lamar Jackson. But until I see Lamar Jackson do it on a big stage, I'm taking 4 points, and I'm taking Patrick Mahomes in a defensive struggle. I'm taking the under with 90% chance of rain. That 44.5 is not going to hit. Those defenses are both very, very good. They hit hard. I see a run game. I see mistakes being made in these games, and I think whoever turns the ball over more is going to lose the game. But you guys are absolutely out of your minds. You are out of your minds. You need to be committed to a mental health institution if you think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to roll over and get blown out in this game. You're nuts.
That's insane.
You
for sure
are mistaken. You are the same people that said Josh Allen was going to run over my team last week, and they almost got blown out in their own building. And now all you guys want to have excuses for why it happened. Stop. Guys, you have to keep the same energy. You can say what you want about me. I keep the same energy. Okay? If and when the Ravens blow my team out, I will come on here and they will get bouquets of flowers for me. But I'm not going to flip-flop. I told you guys, you must understand playoff football. Andy Reid is going to be a difference maker in this game. They have the better coaching, and they have the better schemes. And if they don't make mistakes, you saw what happened last week when the Kansas City Chiefs did not make mistakes. How many balls did they drop, Spencer? None. How many penalties did they have on the offensive line in a hostile territory game? 0. How many times did they put the ball on the ground? Once, and they made it count. They paid for it, but they still made it count, and it didn't kill them. When they don't commit errors, they're hard to beat. The Chiefs have beaten the Chiefs all year. These other teams have not blown us out. They haven't beat us up. We have beat ourselves. And I think +4 is house money. You guys can lay those 4 points with Baltimore all you want. If the Chiefs run D can bend and not break, they could win this game. It's 60-40, I think, Spencer. I think it's on the Ravens 60-40. Ray Lewis is a great motivator. They're gonna be ready to go to Iraq after that pregame speech. They are, dude. I already know what I'm expecting. I'm expecting heavy. They're going to come out swinging. The Chiefs are a good counterpunch team, though. You saw it last week, guys. You saw it last week. I know there are people out there that were telling me if the Bills play the Ravens, the Bills were going to win that game. So don't now go hide and act like you guys didn't say that. You said that. So if they could go in there and dominate that team in their own building, why can't they do it here in inclement weather, which they've been playing in all playoffs long? Tell me why. The X factor is always going to be Lamar Jackson in that offensive line, but if they can just hold him down like they did Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to get his. Just hold him down. Just hold him down. Don't let him turn into the greatest thing you've ever seen and start scoring 4 touchdowns on the ground, another 4 touchdowns in the air. Just hold him down. Lamar is going to get running touchdowns. Josh Allen got running touchdowns. People are sleeping. You guys keep sleeping on the Kansas City Chiefs because you see the Chiefs as the team in this game that was the team you saw all year, and it's not the same team. It's not the same. Like that movie Cinderella Man, where the guy fought the guy the second time. He's like, "What happened? You beat this guy easy last time." He's like, "That's not the same guy. It's not the same team. This is playoff football, and the Chiefs know how to win these games." I'm telling you, +4, lock it up. I'm taking Chiefs +4, and I'm taking the under.
I'll take this player prop. I love Lamar Jackson to get at least 1 rushing touchdown. I love Isaiah Pacheco anytime touchdown. And I love Odell Beckham Jr. anytime touchdown. I think Zay Flowers, I like the unders on his receiving yards.
You're going to bottle him up.
Yeah, so I think that leaves a little bit of space for Odell. He sneaks in every once in a while. And when he's quiet, it's usually when he gets his touchdowns in. Yeah, so yeah. I love that as a 3-time anytime score.
I like that player prop as well. I like that player prop as well a lot. I'm
not going to throw an under. I hate betting under on receivers, but I'll take the guy who benefits the most from a receiver who I think is going to go under. So
I like under for Zay Flowers, 4.5 receptions. I like that under. I don't think you guys recognize how good L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie.
The number 1 wide receiver doesn't play against the Chiefs. That's a fact.
They are the best cornerback duo in the entire league.
It's the Patriots mold. I mean, this is how they play defense. I mean, obviously it's more complicated than that. But I mean, what did Bill Belichick do? That is, he's just infamous.
We're going to take away your number 1 wide receiver,
and then everyone else can beat us.
If I lose this game egregiously, it's going to be because of Lamar Jackson. It's going to be because of Lamar.
And he could do it, but he hasn't done it yet. That's the whole thing.
Lamar does it all the time. He does it all the time, Spencer. He does not do it on the big stage. I don't care what anyone says. Houston versus a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach is not the big stage. This, my friends, is why you paid Lamar. And I've been saying it since I saw them pay him. He has more to lose than anyone. If Lamar Jackson loses this game, I cannot wait to hear the excuses.
There can't be.
He's got more to lose than anyone. Dude, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are playing with house money, you guys.
Yeah.
They're not even supposed to be here right now. This is the worst year that Patrick Mahomes has had since he's been a starter. 14 picks. Now, granted, 6 of them were because his guys can't catch, but they're still picks. 27 touchdowns, that's it? He's had a horrendous year. And I still think he could be MVP because everyone around him has failed him. This is not your mom and pop's Kansas City Chiefs. This is playoff Pat, guys. I don't know how many times I have to say it. I'm going to keep banging the drum on my quarterback because he keeps showing up. I can continue with some of the wins versus these teams that were supposed to have destroyed Kansas City that he has pulled out of his ass time and time and time. The guy's a magician. I like this, Spencer. Whatever Patrick Mahomes' rushing props are, take all the overs. Take all the overs. Because in order for them to have a shot to win this game, he is going to be running for his life. With no Joe Tooney there, you're going to put Nick Algretti there, who's a decent backup left guard, but he's not starter. Mahomes, this has the makings of Tampa Bay, Kansas City Super Bowl written all over it. It does. It does. Except it's not as bad with the offensive line.
No, that defensive line for Tampa Bay, man, that was nuts. That was like
and
every one of those guys is like last.
The Chiefs are starting 5 backups. And if you go back and look at that game, which I did this week, Patrick Mahomes didn't really play that poorly. Patrick Mahomes played well enough to win that game. Everyone failed him. Kelsey dropped balls. Hill dropped balls. The line didn't block. They couldn't run. No one gave Patrick Mahomes any help. He was out there by himself. And they still They still scored 9 points when they could have got shut out. You need help, and I think the run game for Kansas City is going to be huge here. If Isaiah Pacheco can get going, the Chiefs can win this game, dude. They win differently now, guys. They're not throwing the ball 50 yards down the field every other play. They run the ball. They play very good defense, and if they can just stop the run, just slow Lamar down. Don't give up 3rd and 9. Don't give up 15 yards on 3rd and 9. Don't give up 8 yards on 1st down. If the Chiefs can do that, I mean, they did that last week. They gave that up last week and still won the game. And you're giving me 4 points? I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to win this game, but guys, I feel very, very strongly about the +4. I feel very strongly about the +4. This is a 3-point game either way in the rain. Either way. And if you want to lose your money on a point, go for it. I'm going to take the proven commodity that I've seen do it over and over and over again, even on the road, in Patrick Mahomes, versus the unproven commodity who's had a very, very great season, who was the MVP in his building, but when it counts, I've never seen him do it. These games don't matter where they get played to Kansas City. And I told you last week, Spencer, they play better on the road. They play better on the road. It's a business trip. All the distractions are, outside of the Swift nonsense, the distractions are at a minimum. This is what Patrick Mahomes was built to do. You see it happen with certain players in sports, Spencer. It kind of reminds me, you remember when, I don't know if you may remember this, you're a lot younger, when everyone was telling me that the Utah Jazz were taking out the Bulls. Remember that?
Couldn't do it, man.
That's kind of what it reminded. And the Jazz had home court advantage, I believe. The Jazz were loaded, bro. They were loaded. That was a team of destiny. Pippen had a back injury. Jordan had the flu game. They were supposed to just roll over and die. I was like, there was no way they were getting that 6th ring. That's kind of what this reminds me of. The Bulls had a very not bull-like season. It's kind of what it reminds me of, dude. I don't know. Even if I was not a fan of this team, I'm taking 4 points with Patrick Mahomes. If you're giving me Patrick Mahomes in points, I'm always going to take it. And if I lose, I lose. If I lose, I lose. And if the Chiefs win this game, the winner of this game is winning the Super Bowl.
I feel like the road to the NFC is just too bang up, man. Those are just hard-fought games.
I don't trust the Niners. I haven't seen
AFC had a weak like entry-level teams, man. Browns, the Texans, they weren't doing it, man. I think that's
beating the Bills and beating the Bills at Highmark Stadium is a very good win for a team that had a really bad season in Kansas City.
Nuts, man. It's on Stephon Diggs, too, the guy who complains the most about that. That's crazy, man.
He's gone, bro. If he catches that bomb,
it's over.
It's over. They win the game going away.
The guy who complains the most that the Bills can't get it done in the playoffs.
This is what I'm talking about. Guys, you have to understand what we're saying here at World of Matchups. There's really good players out there. Diggs, Allen, these guys they're studs, man. There's a difference between good players and players that show up in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes has never not shown up in the playoffs, even in defeat. Even in defeat. I have not seen Lamar do it versus a good team in the playoffs yet. And if I don't see it tomorrow and he loses this game, I will never be a supporter of Lamar Jackson. This is what you paid him for. It's all there for you. You're home. They're bringing in every Raven great of all time. The flock is going to be there. It's going to be purple and black. They're ready. I don't want to hear any excuses. On paper, you're supposed to beat the Kansas City Chiefs by 3 touchdowns. You're supposed to beat the Kansas City Chiefs worse than you beat the Lions and worse than you beat the Niners, because those two teams had better years than Kansas City. What will be your excuses? I cannot wait to watch this game. Last week, I almost had to go to the hospital. I can't wait. My wife's like, "Are you all right?" I love playoff football, man. Parting shots.
Congratulations to Antonio Pierce, the new official head coach of the
There you
Raiders.
go.
I personally love the Tom Telesco GM hire. I think the guy put together some of the greatest Chargers rosters ever. And I also want to say shout out, man, because what's his name is staying at the GM position, but he's not so far. He's still there. The guy who took over in the interim tag. I love seeing him as an assistant GM. I think they're building a really good staff. If Cliff Kingsbury agrees to be the offensive coordinator, that was my number one concern in the offseason. If they did retain Antonio Pierce, if you get Cliff Kingsbury, I think the Raiders have the best coaching staff they've ever had in my life.
Yeah, Raiders are on the come up.
Patrick Graham is at the press conference. If that guy doesn't leave, man,
Raiders are on the come
I'm
up.
telling you,
Raiders,
that is
I'm
the
telling you.
best coaching staff I've ever seen since I've been alive. Well, since the 2002 Super Bowl, I should say.
Thank you, God, for not allowing them to bumble this again. And they just signed Antonio Pierce.
They look like a real team, man. They look
the
like
Raiders
a real
are moving
team
in the right direction. I'm here to tell you guys too, man. Like, I know that the Chargers have salary cap issues and older players, but let's not think for a second that them hiring Harbaugh is not some kind of amazing move. That is an incredible move for that franchise.
It's the AFC West, man.
And he is
is
going to get them right. The AFC West is going to be the best division in football.
It's the AFC West and the AFC North that have dominated football for my life.
It's a fight every week. Even the bum-ass Broncos, right? Even the bum-ass Broncos. Let's say, for instance, like the Broncos get Drake May. You know what I mean? Like, they have a great defense. They have a great defense already. Sean Payton's a
Super Bowls.
He's a Super Bowl winning coach, and they have Super Bowl winning franchise. The AFC West has done such a great job this year. While Kansas City has been in the playoffs doing what they've been doing, the rest of you guys have really been handling. You've been standing on business, and I cannot wait to see what we do in the draft, because I have always stood by, like, there are no easy wins in the AFC West. You saw Kansas City go to Denver and get shellacked. They got blasted. It happens. The
Raiders, man. The Raiders went into Kansas City
and took us on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day. You know what I mean? You cannot.
Unreal.
These teams in the NFL have loaded up more to stop Patrick Mahomes than anyone ever has done.
Yeah, I think it's made the Raiders team better. I really believe that.
Teams have never done what they are doing to try to stop Tom Brady and the Patriots like what they're doing to try to stop Patrick Mahomes. They're mortgaging their future to try to stop Patrick Mahomes. Seriously.
Tom Brady played in the most incompetent division ever his whole career. The AFC West is not like that.
The Jets were trash. The Bills were trash. They got 33 wins versus the Bills in his career. I mean,
the Bills got good when Tom Brady was getting ready to retire.
Stop it. But I definitely like what's happening. There's been a lot of great moves that are being made, a lot of comings and goings. Atlanta's got their coach. Carolina's got their coach.
Those were kind of shocking, those two hirings. I'm not going to lie. The Buccaneers offensive coordinator.
I don't understand why somebody doesn't drive Bill to the bank and hand him the key. That's what I don't understand.
Maybe they think the game is past him, man. I don't know.
The game has not passed Bill back. Bill is not a good evaluator of talent. He doesn't draft well. He is an amazing coach.
He's the worst drafter ever.
He is an amazing coach. I'm telling you right now, if Andy Reid decides he wants to step down, Bill Belichick, I will come pick you up, fam. I will. You think I'm joking? I'll get in my Dodge Caravan and start driving right now. Y'all are bugging.
You're going to pick him up from New England.
Y'all better start putting some respect on this man's name and what he's done. It's not just Tom Brady. Okay? Players play, but they do what the coach tells them to do. Bill Belichick is an absolute genius. He's the best coach of all time, and I know he's had a couple down years. Look what he's worked with. You guys are bugging out. I would take Bill Belichick over any of these other scrubs. Here's a blank check. You tell us what you want to get paid and then show up to camp, son, because we're ready to start winning. The guy is a winner. Period. There are good players, and then there are winners. There's a big difference. Nick Sirianni is a good coach. He is not a winner. Bill Belichick is a winner. Andy Reid is a winner. You must produce in big spots. Lamar Jackson, as much as he won, is not a winner. Not yet. Winning MVPs is not enough to go to the Hall of Fame. You must have rings. You must have rings. And I will never back off that. Not at the quarterback position. Not at the quarterback position. Dan Marino, I'll give you that one. But when it's all said and done in today's age, in today's NFL, if you're not sporting hardware, I mean, they let anyone into the Hall of Fame now. Dion said it. Dion said it. The Hall of Fame should be regulated for guys that change the game only. Only. And if you ain't changed the game, you shouldn't be in there. I believe that. It's the Hall of Fame. You're not supposed to just let it.
Basketball is even worse. Basketball.
You're not supposed to just let anyone in. You have to have changed the game. Guys had to game plan for you. Lawrence Taylor, Ray Lewis. Guys had to know where you were on the field at all times. Ed Reed, players like that. They had to. If you didn't change the sport, if you didn't keep guys up at night, if your offensive and defensive coordinators weren't sweating bullets when they saw you, you should not be in the Hall of Fame. And I will never back off that. I'll stand 10 toes down on that. And there's guys like that aren't in the Hall of Fame. You're scared to kick the ball at Devin Hester. Where is that guy? It's ridiculous. It's a popularity contest, just like the Pro Bowl. It's all bullshit. Anyway, that's enough of me getting. I'm about to throw my computer out the window. World of Matchups, Championship Sunday, guys. This is what it is. Good luck. Do what you do. We want to thank you guys for the support. We hope we've won you some money this year. I like a lot of the 3-team teasers that Spencer has thrown out at you. If you want to run it by the people one more time before we're out the door, Spencer, go for it.
I don't feel too strongly about the Chiefs-Ravens game. I'm just going to throw it in because I think it makes the game more interesting. But the game that I'm actually going to put a little bit of dough behind, 2+ touchdowns for Christian McCaffrey in that game. I like the over. What was my ticket? Now I'm already forgetting here. I like the over on Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I love Jared Goff to throw at least one interception. That is my 3-team player prop parlay.
Guys, if you lay that, I'm pretty sure you're having a chicken dinner Sunday night. I really am. I like that a lot. I don't have a 3-teamer, but I just have a best bet. I just think this hits no matter what because I've seen these kind of games with Patrick Mahomes. Whatever his rushing yard total is, take it. Nice. Take the over. I have a funny feeling that the line is not going to play as well as they would like them to, and he is going to have to run. And he has these scrambles, man. Every game he has these scrambles where the defense just lets the lane be open, and Mahomes just takes off, and he runs scared. And they're like not small runs, 15, 20, 25 yardage. You're like, damn, how did he just run? How did he do that? He does this. I can see Patrick Mahomes having 50 rushing yards in this game. I think it's
some alt lines, man. Maybe take like an alt rushing yards, and he has like 30.
I think it's really absolutely good money, lock. I think it's a lock. I've seen him do this before. Patrick Mahomes is going to go down fighting. This is one thing I know about Patrick Mahomes. He will never lay down. Even if he's hurt. Injuries that would put quarterbacks in the blue tent, Patrick Mahomes is commanding his men in the huddle. This is what I know. And so I like that one a whole lot. We'll be back next week, guys. We'll start talking. Well, actually, we got 2 weeks for the Super Bowl, so we're going to probably take next week off.
We'll bet the flag football game. No, if you bet the flag football game, you gotta call it anonymous stuff.
Yeah, you really need help at that point. You betting the Pro Bowl. You're a fucking loser if you're betting the Pro Bowl. World of Matchups is out, guys. We're off next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks to break down Super Bowl Sunday right here in our hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium. Good luck. Be smart with your money. And remember, just kind of like Spencer said, it's all fun and games. But like if you're really struggling with gambling, man, hit up gamblersanonymous.org. There's no sense getting yourself hurt using over a game. Be smart. Have faith. Enjoy the games. Go Chiefs. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. All right, we're out.